Catalytic converters will have sensors on the front of them and on the rear of them. They're called O2 sensors, and there is one right there. I'm trying to shine my light on it. That's an O2 sensor. So the O2 sensor's job is to smell, I guess you could say, or monitor the exhaust as it goes into the catalytic converter. The catalytic converter filters out the exhaust, and then there's another O2 sensor on the opposite end of the catalytic converter to monitor the exhaust as it comes out of the catalytic converter. Okay, so the O2 sensors are doing their job by looking at the exhaust as it goes into the catalytic converter and as it comes out of the catalytic converter. The catalytic converter's job is to filter or clean out the exhaust, and when these catalytic converters aren't filtering out the exhaust properly, they set codes like P0420 and P0430. Now, P0420 will be for bank 1, which is one side of the engine, and P0430, of course, is for the other side of the engine. That is bank 2. Okay, so there's a number of different reasons why you'll get these P0420 and 430 codes. A couple of these reasons are you could have unmetered air going into the system, like from intake manifold leaks. You could have unmetered air leaving the system from exhaust leaks. You could have bad O2 sensors which monitor it. You could have a bad catalytic converter. What we're looking at here is we're looking at the O2 sensors. Now this is the O2 sensor for bank 1, sensor 1. That's on one side of the engine. The sensor that would look at the exhaust going into the catalytic converter. And then you have bank 2, sensor 1. That's on the other side of the sensor looking at the exhaust going into the catalytic converter on the other side. Then down here you have bank 1, sensor 2, and bank 2, sensor 2. This is the sensors looking at the exhaust coming out of the catalytic converter. So what you look for is when the exhaust is going into the catalytic converter, there is a lot of fluctuation in the O2 sensor monitoring voltage. And this is because what's happening here is that the computer is trying to adjust, or is adjusting the air-fuel mixture by making it lean and rich. Kind of back in the day when we had carburetors and you would go out there and screw your adjusting screws for your air and your fuel. Well, the computer does that. It adjusts the injector pulse to get just the amount of right of fuel and just the right amount of air into the system. So when you're looking at these things, that's this is basically the air-fuel mixture adjusting, and as you see it go into the front of the cat, you'll see that it's fluctuating pretty good there. And what you want to see coming out of the cat is it not adjusting so much. You don't want to see so much fluctuation there. Like for example, bank 1, sensor 1, we've got it going in, we've got the air-fuel mixture being adjusted pretty good there, but coming out we have we have it pretty much flatlined. But if you look at bank 2, you can see that it's not as flatlined, or it's quite a bit of adjustments going on there. Quite a bit of the O2 sensor is seeing a lot of lean, rich, lean adjustments going on there. So when you see that, basically bank 2 catalytic converter is not being efficient because it's not filtering out the exhaust as good as it is on bank 1. When it's filtering out the exhaust really good, it's kind of flatlined on bank 1. When it's not filtering out so good, it's kind of jumping around almost like it is going in. So when you see these O2 sensors reading pretty much the same going in the cat as coming out like you do on bank 2, basically the catalytic converter is not doing its job. It's not filtering out the exhaust. It's almost like there's not a catalytic converter there. So the catalytic converter is not efficient, and as a result, you will get a check engine light on, and you'll store a code for the whatever cat's not efficient, and in this case it's bank 2. Okay, so this is a real good image of what I'm talking about. You'll see the bank 1 and bank 2 O2 sensors going in right here, and bank 1 and bank 2 sensors coming out. And you'll see that bank 2 is not really efficient there. Sensor 2 on bank 2 is not really efficient, which is 2-2. That's sensor 2, bank 2. Because it's almost identical to the exhaust coming in. So it's really not doing its job. It's got to filter out the exhaust like bank 1 is. Now I say filter out the exhaust, that's just kind of a layman's terms we're talking about. There's a lot of information about how catalytic converters work and what they do, what their purpose is. But for this video right here, I just want to show you how we monitor the efficiency of a catalytic converter on the different banks of the engine. Typically bank 1 on a Chrysler is going to be, if the engine was sitting straight in the car, it's going to be on the driver's side, and bank 2 is going to be on the passenger side. So of course the engine sits, you know, sideways in a front wheel drive, so if you took the engine and turned it with the front of the engine facing the front of the car, you have bank 1 driver's side, bank 2 passenger side. On Ford it's the opposite. On GM it's the same as Chrysler. Bank 1 is typically where cylinder 1 is. So what's the fix? Well, I would say on this vehicle right here, you probably need a catalytic converter replacement along with the O2 sensors. This car came in originally with misfires, so sometimes when the car has misfires and the fuel isn't being burned properly, it'll mess up the catalytic converter. We've seen them come in, they'll be clogged up, they'll be restricted, and they just won't filter out the exhaust properly. So on this vehicle, we're going to put a catalytic converter on it along with both O2 sensors. There's a lot of different reasons for P0430. Like I mentioned earlier, you could have, you know, exhaust leaks, you could have intake manifold leaks, you could have bad O2 sensors. So the best way to look at it is what we're doing here is monitor look at the O2 readings going in and out of the catalytic converter and see if there's there should be a pretty good difference between them, as you've seen on the scan tool. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and have a great day.